Back to the sport. Hey, we got number 16 out there, Beyond Thunderdame, facing off
against a jammer in the penalty box.
number
Goldie
88.
Loke.
Goldie Loke. That's want to start out rested. Have a seat.
Exactly. Well rested. Beyond Thunderdame, though. Big shock here. Only jammer on the track. Also, lead jammer.
All right, Thunderdame cutting through, looking for that window, finds it on the inside, picking up 5 in the sky for Rose City.
I don't know. She kind of looked like she just was weaving her hips and jam skating. Not like jammer skating, but like she had her own music in her head and just wove through that pack in such a beautiful manner.
Not so much this time, though. Arizona locking it up tight on turn number 2. Last line of defense, 56. D's nuts. Gotta let her through for 5 more points.
That was a beautiful pirouette that Thunderdame managed on holding that inside line, keeping inbounds. Nice 4-wall of defense Arizona is putting up. Basically has put Beyond Thunderdame at a standstill. Shenanigans. Excuse me, not shenanigans. Don't blink. Had to finally let him through.
We got some skaters on the track out there. That's going to be Tegan and Scaria facing off against Westward Ho.
No, I think it's... Oh, no, it's Wilhelm, silly boy.
That's what it says. I just read the screen. What do I know?
All right, Rose City, Tegan, and Scaria has a lead jammer status on the verge of thinking about putting points on the board, but we have another skater who's thinking about putting points on the board too, and I'm going to say it's Wilhelm, despite what my other screen says. 4 points on the board for the team in purple.
That's number 12 on the line. Shenanigans facing off against
Helga Hufflepunk is what I say. Helga Hufflepunk.
Hufflepunk. That is right. Shenanigans out front, picking up that lead. Getting taken out by that ghost blocker on turn number 2. Back up and ready to go. Shenanigans Helga Hufflepunk trying to get through that Rose City defense right now. Up front, turn number 1. Shenanigan finds a breezy hole to shoot through for 5 in the sky.
Hufflepunk still struggling for that initial pass, and Rose City is making her work for it. I'm not sure if we've got a star stash or a star pass coming up, but I see that the star has been removed. Meanwhile, Rose City's put 5 points on the board, but it looks like we've got a new jammer of record. And who is that jammer of record?
That's going to be D's Nuts. 3 more points going up for Rose for the end of that jam. 13-point jam for Rose City.
I feel like this might have been the highest scoring jam so far this half for this game.
It has been a very tight game so far. Arizona putting that defense down.
Yeah, Arizona definitely is slowing down the points accumulation that Rose City is so famous for, as it were.
Last game Rose had here there was, I believe, a 35-point. Huge.
Yeah, 35 points is nothing to sneeze at. That is, well, that's 7 times around the track, if my math is right.
Yeah.
Back in my day,
like
that was 7 times around the track. Of course, what do I know? I had to walk barefoot uphill both ways in the snow. All right, we've got Stashbot on the line for Arizona.
And Evangelical out there for Portland. Rose City's zigging and zagging, weaving their way to the front once again, picking up that lead jammer nod for Rose City. But hot on her heels, Stashbot breaks out of that pack almost just as quickly.
Pack speed picking up to make it more difficult for any of those jammers to be scoring points. Looks like Rose was able to eke out 1 point before that jam was called off. I really actually like that I saw an Arizona skater using phenomenal ref hand signals to communicate to the ref, hey, maybe you saw this penalty. The ref didn't, but I still liked that they did that.
Good time. Hey, that's going to be Irie Strider on the line, facing off against Goldie Loke.
Oh, Goldie Loke taking that inside line, lead jammer status for Arizona. This is a momentum shift that the team in white have been hoping for. Jammer for Portland forced to recycle back after getting bopped to the outside. Still on the initial pass, whereas Goldie Loke is thinking about putting points on the board. Passing purple hips.
That jammer of record for Rose City, that's Ovarian Barbarian, not Irie Strider.
5 points for Arizona, bringing them up to 18. 5 points in this jam by their jammer. That is what we like to see.
That's going to be Tegan and Scaria on the line once again for Rose City.
Looks like Wilhelm's wearing the star for Arizona.
Tegan coming out quickly, making short change out of that short stack, picking up that lead jammer nod for Rose City.
Brutal 3-wall of purple, just beating Wilhelm up. Wilhelm rockets past them and on the verge of scoring some points, but it looks like Rose was wise to that plan, called it off. 4 points on the board for the team in purple, holding Arizona to 0. All right, it looks like somebody's got an argument about something. We will let you know all about it once we find out.
This is brought to you by Monster Energy, the drink that I'm drinking. Not a sponsor, but
I'm a Red Bull kind of girl myself. I prefer the yellow can Red Bull tropical flavor.
we'll give you.
It does give you wings. Looks like Rose City was hoping for a cut call on Arizona's jammer. But positions and visuals stated, nope, they didn't cut. So Rose City does not retain their official review, and no call stands.
And we've got Helga Hufflepunk on the line, facing off against
Shenanigans All right, and we have got Hufflepunk for lead jammer status. Penalty box is emptying out, full 5-on-5 on the track. Let's see what Hufflepunk can do with this situation.
Hufflepunk, amazing jammer, doing great stuff. First game, trying to get that momentum built up in this second game. Still picks up 4 points for calling off the jam, chipping away at this deficit.
Holding Rose City to 0, so they always know that's a winner. That's right, Arizona, they won this jam.
There's
4 points to 0.
There's only 56 points separating these two right now, so it's still not unsurmountable, especially with 8 minutes left in this first half.
And a whole second half left to play. We've got Stashbot wearing the star for Arizona.
And beyond Thunderdame once again for Rose.
That empty penalty box means each jammer has a full team of 4 to get on past. Hack is moving quick. Outside line once again. Stashbot Arizona lead jammer status.
Thunderdame still looking to get past this Arizona defense. 3-point diamond defense pushing Thunderdame to the outside down here on turn 3 as Stashbot breezes by for a big 5-point, all natural, no preservatives, no additives, grand slam.
Best kind of grand slam, thank you ma'am, you can find, and it looks like we have got another 5 points on the board for Arizona. 10 points total so far. Amazing work, both defensive and offensive. Boom! Did we pass more hips before we called it off? Nope, no more hips. Shucks. Shucks, she tried.
Darn it!
10-point jam for Arizona, bringing them to 32 points. Holding Rose to 0 this whole jam. Once again, Arizona, they won it. Yeah, they won this jam. That's right.
46 points separating these two teams. We got number 8 Goldie Loke on the line, facing off against Evan Helical.
Oh, holding that inside line and just dancing through. Lead jammer status, 3 jams in a row. Goldie Loke for Arizona has that big L flying high in the sky. Passing those purple hips. Both jammers now in scoring position.
4 points going up on the board for Evan Helical. Goldie Loke held up by that Rose defense, gets through for 4 more, calls off the jam.
All right, well, that was a tie jam. Both teams with 4 points on the board. Amazing work by both sets of blockers.
Ovarian Barbarian up for Rose City.
Game up against Wilhelm. 2 very familiar faces on that jammer line.
Pretty clean game. We got a full track out there right now. Haven't really started too many of those with anybody in the penalty box.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but then I knew that that might be a bad idea.
Well, I mentioned it so we could get some more action. You know,
there we go. Oh my gosh, we've got another lead jammer status for Arizona, thanks to Wilhelm. Ovarian Barbarian still stuck on that initial pass, whereas ducking and diving, weaving and whirling, Wilhelm almost through.
Wilhelm taking the hits, calling off the jam, but not before they pick up 5 points for Arizona Rising. Holding Rose City to 0 on that, just chipping away at that deficit. Rose City got some 2-1, 41 points separating these two teams.
Helga Hufflepunk wearing the star for Arizona. Tegan and Scaria wearing the star for Rose City. Oh, both jammers racing through a fast pack. And one more time, Arizona gets lead jammer status thanks to Helga Hufflepunk.
They were toe-to-toe coming through that pack. Arizona's defense switching to offense, holding back Rose City's Tegan and Scaria long enough for Helga Hufflepunk to get through, picking up that lead jammer nod.
Hufflepunk able to call it off after getting 3 points on the board and seeing Rose's Jammer quickly approaching that pack. 0 points earned by Rose City. Once again, Arizona wins this jam.
So since the first jam, Rose City has had Arizona by at least a ratio of 2-1. After that jam with these chipping away jams that Arizona's putting up and calling off, they are no longer in that 2-1 ratio. So yeah, they're coming back.
Yeah, Arizona's definitely fine-tuning and figuring out what they need to do, and they're doing it right.
All right, people. It's too damn quiet in here. How many roller derby fans we got in the house tonight?
Woo-hoo!
Let's give it up for Russ Riot 2018. We're in game number 3. Hey, we got number 5,000 Stash Bot 5,000.
Oh, suddenly the name makes way more sense, actually.
That's Shenanigans out there for Rose, picking up that lead, Jammer nod.
Did Shenanigans start on the other side of the pivot line?
You almost think
because that's sort of what it looked like. Oh, it is a fast pack. Both jammers in scoring position, thinking about putting points on the board, but it looks like only Rose City. 3 points.
So sneaky.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
Quick apex jump on that one, hands on the hips before she hits the ground. 6 points going up on the board for Rose on that one.
All right, somebody didn't like something. We've got an official review, and we will let you know what it's all about once we figure it out. All righty, it looks like this official review was a fake out. The refs knew that they screwed up even before somebody told them. So they corrected it, made it all right. Which means nobody gets to have their official review taken away.
Nobody gets nada. Number 88, Goldie Loke, the only jammer on the line. That is a power start for Arizona, which is exactly what they want. All right, we do have jammer of record in Rose City in the penalty box at the start of this jam. Number 88, Goldie Loke, only jammer on the track, looking to get through that Rose City defense right now. Just like that. They do an excellent job of killing that penalty. Killing that power jam, but
Absolutely.
She still came out with a lead.
So Goldie Loke on a scoring pass. Shenanigans also on a scoring pass. Goldie Loke, knowing what's going on, decides it is time to call it off. 4 points on the board for Arizona, bringing up to 48.
Number 55, that's Wilhelm. 16, Beyond Thunderdame.
All right, Wilhelm once again with that lead jammer status, bringing Arizona happy thoughts. Beyond Thunderdame out of that pack, thinking about doing some things. Wilhelm knows what things Thunder Dame was thinking about doing. Wilhelm calls it off. No points on the board for Rose City, but 4 points on the board for Arizona.
Wilhelm picking it up, putting it down, chomping away at this deficit. Only 30 points separating these two teams right now. Arizona's getting into some momentum right here with only 1 minute left on the period clock. Like I was saying, with only 1 minute left on the period clock, you know, Arizona's going to want to try and keep this momentum for the second half. We're going to see what we can do.
All right, we've got familiar faces. Hufflepunk wearing the star for Arizona, but Evan Helical's wearing the star for Rose, and he's got lead Gemma status.
Evan Helical with her fast feet and lateral movements, just shooting through on the inside.
Yeah, but Hufflepunk was having none of it. That was a beautiful booty block, bringing Evan Helical, slowing her down and bringing her to the infield. All right, 5 points on the board for the team in purple. Rose City wants none of this momentum shift coming from Arizona.
Evan Helical coming out with a vengeance in this jam, throwing the hammer down, putting up 14 points for Rose City.
All right, sounds like that whistle means it is halftime. We've got a 10-minute break, so join us back here trackside in about 9.5 minutes. Be sure to get a tasty beverage over at the snack bar, and we will see you soon.
Hey, don't forget we got Roller Derby Skate Shop in the lobby. We also have some merch booths out there, help support these teams and their travel costs. And yeah, we'll see you back here in 9.5 minutes.
that whistle means we are on the verge of getting started again. First half, we are looking at penalties for both teams fairly low. Arizona sitting on 10 penalties, Rose City 13 penalties. Not at all bad. Clean skaters. Empty penalty box coming into this second half. Helga Hufflepunk wearing the star for Arizona. Ovarian Barbarian wearing the star for Rose City. Ovarian Barbarian finding an open window on that inside line, takes advantage, lead jammer status. Looks like we have a star pass for Arizona. Westward Ho, now the jammer of record. Putting that star over that bar and thinking about putting points on that board. Ovarian Barbarian watching the progress of Westward Ho, calls it off before any points were put on the board for the team in white. 4 points on the board for Rose City, bringing them to that century mark. Dashbot 5000 wearing the star for Arizona. Beyond Thunderdame being the star for Rose City, at least this jam. Taking that inside line, Beyond Thunderdame gets lead jammer status for Rose City. Looks to take some instructions from Coach Liquor and Split there on the sidelines. They've got a plan of action. Let's see what that plan entails. All right, one time around the track, calling it off. I'll bet that was that plan. 2 points on the board for Rose City, holding Arizona to 0.
Four 2-4, Tegan and Scaria on the line for Rose, facing off against number 88, Goldie Loke. Goldie Loke picking up that lead, jammer not for Arizona.
Arizona's loving this shift in momentum that they're carrying through into this second half. Hop, skip, and a jump in that corner for, let's call it corner 2, brings 5 points on the board for Arizona.
That very active thumb by our jam ref indicates that's the 5th.
No mistaking, there's no 4s here, it's all 5s. All right, calling it off after putting 2 more points on the board. Arizona, 7-point jam, holding Rose City to 0 points this jam.
.55 on the line. Once again, Wilhelm. And that's going to be Shenanigans breaking out. Picking up that lead, jammer not for Rose City.
1 blocker for Arizona, leaving the box. 1 blocker for Arizona, coming to the box.
Kalaka with a big hip check, sending Shenanigans to the outside, but Shenanigans recycling back behind the pack. That's going to give Wilhelm the opportunity to break through for that initial pass.
Shenanigans, fully aware of the potential Wilhelm held, decides it was time to call it off. Only 4 points on the board for Rose City right now, 106 to 59, Arizona. Evan Helical wearing the star for Rose City up against Hufflepunk.
All right, we started this jam off short stacked on the track. 2 blockers in the box. Pivot has returned for Rose. So pack advantage in favor of Rose City right now.
Hufflepunk just struggling against that wall of purple in back, getting some help from number 618, Westward Ho.
Hufflepunk hot on her heels.
Some nice jammer on jammer defense action. That shoulder check didn't slow Hufflepunk down, so it was just time to call this one off.
0-0 on that one. 106 Rose City, 59 Arizona. 5 minutes into the game, into the second half of the game. We're going to put Stashbot 5000 back out on the track.
Skating up against Ovarian Barbarian.
And that is a full accompaniment of skaters on the track.
Dashbot taking that line behind the Rose Jammer, trying to get past on the outside, but bopped and forced to recycle all the way back, now facing a 3-wall of purple in the back.
Stashbot just aggressively trying to get through this Rose defense, just like that on the outside, picking up that lead jammer nod for Arizona. Stashbot 5000.
Stashbot 5000 did a beautiful job skating through with so much quickness on her feet because Rose City's blockers were racing to the front of the pack, trying to slow them down, but nope, got through for lead and thinking about scoring some points. All right, we have got a misconduct call for 3408 Ovarian Barbarian. Flicker and split. Coach for Rose not pleased with that call, but that's okay. You just got to go roll with the punches, as it were, as long as you weren't the one throwing the punches. All right, Arizona has put 5 points on the board, and we are looking at an official review brought to you by Rose City. I'm going out on a limb, and it has something to do with that jammer call, sending the jammer to the box, but we will let you know for certain what this official review is about once we find out, instead of just my speculation. Alrighty, so even though I thought it was official review, it's not. It was an official timeout. I had to figure out what went on. It's a fast-moving game. It happens.
Don't we all need a timeout once in a while? You know, Calgon, take me away. Hey, we got number 16 out there. That's going to be Beyond Thunderdame facing off against number 88 Goldilocks.
Now, if you remember, there was a Rose City Jammer in that penalty box, but now the Rose City Jammer was removed from the penalty box, so I think maybe that call was rescinded or something that sent her to the box.
Well, now we've got a new jammer penalty. It's going to be cut track, and that's going to go to Goldilocks. So there is a
power jam for Beyond Thunderdame. Busting through that last line of defense up front, Rose City does have lead jammer status. Pack pretty much at a standstill as they set up, waiting for this jammer to come through. Rose City doing their best to bust up that line of white defense. and frankly, pretty successful. 5 points on the board for Rose City, thanks to Beyond Thunder Dame.
Thunder Dame coming out to the outside corner down here on turn number 3. 88 back in the mix. Goldilocks quickly picking up another penalty, going right back to the box.
I didn't see what that penalty was. I'm going to assume maybe an illegal re-entry. I really actually have no idea. I did not see.
It was something. That deserves 30 seconds in the box.
I agree. It was something. Oh, maybe it was a back block.
Well, there's another 5 points going up for Rose City.
I'm going to go with the information in front of me, and it was a back block that set the Arizona Jammer back to that penalty. Those are illegal.
Hey, we got number 424 taking it scary out on the line once again for Rose City. And Goldilocks is in the penalty box at the start of this jam, so that is a power start for Rose, and they're going to take full advantage of that, finding that window of opportunity on the inside line, picking up that lead jammer nod for Rose City. Axles of Annihilation.
All right, first scoring pass for Tegan and Scaria. Last line of defense for having to busted through that line of 2 for 5 points on the board. It looks like we have a star pass for Arizona, and our new jammer of record is Westward Ho!
2 points up for Rose. Call it off that jam before any points get put up for Arizona. All right, we got Shenanigans out on the line, facing off against Wilhelm. Shenanigans already getting knocked to the outside, recycling back behind that pack. Wilhelm on the inside, looking for a window of opportunity, trying to follow their friends through. But that Rose defense locking up tight on turn number 1 right now. That's going to give Shenanigans the opportunity to break away, picking up that lead, jammer nod.
Yeah, Wilhelm right now stuck in a pack, acting like a pinball, getting bounced from one pin to the next, decides maybe it's time to pass this one on to D's Nuts. D's Nuts now your jammer of record for Arizona.
Evan Helgel coming out, picking up that lead jammer status quickly as she does. Looking for that window of opportunity to put some points on the board. We got Helga Hufflepunk stuck in the mix down here as that Rose defense comes on strong.
Arizona blocker sent into the box along with a Rose blocker sent to the box, meaning each jammer's only got 3 blockers to contend with at the moment. But that's not what's going on anymore. Points, 4 of them for Rose, and then a call off.
Stash bot 5,000 facing off against Varian Barbarian. Barbarian going from the outside to the in. Same thing with Stash bot, hot on her feet, tiptoeing through the tulips. We get a lead jammer status going to Arizona Rising.
About a half a track behind Ovarian Barbarian, thinking about putting points on the board. Stashbot 5000 says, not on my watch. Time to call it off. Oh, and nobody got any points. That's weird. I thought that Stashbot passed a couple purple hips, but, you know, I'm not the one keeping score. All right, we have got Beyond Thunderdame with lead jammer status for Rose City. Goldie Loke on the verge of putting points on the board, but Beyond Thunderdame was wise to that action. Only 2 points for Rose City. Arizona held them to just 2 points that jam.
We're sitting at 138 Rose City, Arizona 64 with 16 minutes left in this game. Yeah, right.
I mean,
Wilhelm and Shenanigans. Shenanigans coming out, picking up that lead.
and we have a star pass. Westward ho, wearing the star for Arizona. Thinking about putting points on the board.
Getting musical over here.
Just call me Linda Belcher. I'll make everything a musical.
4 more points going up for Rose. No points going up for Arizona on that one. .424 on the line. That's Tegan and Scaria.
394 on the line. That's Helga Hufflepunk. Helga Hufflepunk currently at the front of the pack fighting against, I'm going to say 4 blockers in purple. And her Arizona blockers aren't able to give her any help because they're really busy trying to slow down Tegan and Scaria, doing their job. Tegan and Scaria, though, through with lead Gemma status. All right, that was 4 points on the board for Rose City, bringing them up to 146. I gotta tell you, this is a low-scoring game considering the level of, considering the score that we had earlier today with Rose. This is a really, Arizona has got to be proud of their defense.
There's some great defense going on both sides. Absolutely. It is made for a very interesting game.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. StashBot 5,000 lead jammer status for Arizona. We're busy talking about Arizona's defense, and look what their offense can do. That's right. They can skate and get 5 points on the board.
Zigging and zagging, shooting from the inside to the out. Evangelical says, I got to stop this. Gets out of the box. Looking to put some points on the board herself. But StashBot 5000 comes out, sees her on her 6, puts her hands on her hips, and calls off the jam before any points get picked up by Rose City. That's going to be 9 big ones going up for Arizona.
Who won this jam? Arizona won this jam 9-0. Okay, details. Rose is still winning. I understand. We take the small victories as we will.
Hey, we got Ovarian Barbarian facing off against Goldilocks. We've seen this before. Ovarian Barbarian breaking through, picking up that lead.
Yeah,
once again for
You
Rose.
want to see who's going to win a jam? I'll show you who'll win a jam, says Ovarian Barbarian. Busting through and hitting that 4-wall of white in the back. Looks like we got a blocker for Rose getting sent to that penalty box, which means Goldilocks will have one less body to get through to finish this initial pass. But that 2-wall of purple is still holding her back.
Ovarian getting held up by that air.
For Arizona, D's nuts, your jammer of a record. Looks like Ovarian Barbarian's considering, do I want to try to make another pass or maybe call it off? Let's try to make another pass, and then maybe we'll call it off. I mean, I'm not in her head, but I'll bet that's what she's thinking. Oh my, this is just a speed skating fast pack. And oh my gosh, we've got some jammer on jammer action. 4 more points on the board for Arizona.
4 more points on the board for Rose City. And the end of that jam, 14-4.
160 for Rose City, 77 for Arizona. I don't know about you, but that was kind of an exciting jam for me. Beyond Thunder Dame. Wearing the star for Rose. Wilhelm. Wearing the star for Arizona. Empty penalty box. Means it's going to be hard for everyone.
Means it's going to be hard for everyone. All right, 5-on-5 on the flat track. Who's coming out on top? That's going to be Wilhelm. Picking up lead jammer for Arizona.
Oh my gosh, that 4-wall of white in the front of the pack has pretty much brought Beyond Thunder Dame to a standstill, except for a phenomenal little twirly whirl to get past on that outside line, finally threw off the initial pass. Wilhelm, though, passing some purple hips, deciding it is time to call it off because 4 points were earned in that jam. Holding Rose to 0.
That wall did an amazing job holding back Thunder Dame. Thunder Dame working for every inch on that track.
100%. I cannot say enough about the defense that I'm seeing from Arizona. I have no words is what it boils down to.
That's a bad thing when you're an announcer.
I know. I'm not doing my job right. Let's sum it up with wow.
Wow. Helga Hufflepunk out on the line, but it's going to be number 424, Tegan and Scaria. That's going to pick up that lead jammer status.
Oh, but wide open inside line. Let Hufflepunk get through shortly after that lead jammer status was called. Hufflepunk hitting the back of the pack, hoping to pass those hips. Doesn't look like any points for Arizona, but only 2 points for Rose City. Who's wearing the star for Arizona? Stashbot 5000.
And that's Shenanigans out on the line for Rose City.
Looks like both teams have a blocker in the box, meaning they each have 3-on-3, and Stashbot 5000 didn't quite cheat, but she didn't quite pass everybody. So first one out, not lead jammer status. Lead is still open for Shenanigans to take advantage of. Let's see if it will happen that way. Oh, we've got a power jam now. Cut call on Stashbot 5000. Oh, well, on the bright side, at least she didn't give up a lead, right?
Yeah, there's that. Rallying around that track. Shenanigan looking to put some more points up on the board. Holding that line by the toe stop on the inside. Finally gets pushed a little bit farther by Colts. Colts recycling back. Shenanigans back out on the track. 5 points going up on the board.
RC Autobot, though, was not really willing to let that jammer go until the rules required it. Oh, Stashbot 5000 hitting hard to Rosemary's Baby. I'm guessing that might have been a penalty, which she's getting sent to the box for. I'm going to call that a back block, but, you know, just making that up.
We're going to see what happens on that one.
Rosemary's Baby, though, that was a brutal hit, and she just, like, popped right on up. All right, I'm going to keep skating. I don't get it.
Shenanigans calling off the jam. 5 points getting up on the board for Rose. 3 points going up for Arizona on that one. So Rose is going to start out in a power start on this next jam. Number 316, Evan Helical. That's a dangerous situation for Arizona, as they've got Stashbot 5000 in the penalty box at the start of this next jam.
Stashbot 5000 has plans. I have no doubt. Stashbot 5000 has been programmed for this exact situation.
And Helical looking for that window of opportunity. Shoots to the inside. Met by Kapulani Kapuiki.
Oh my goodness. That defense on Arizona just will not quit. But Katie Quick is kind of quick. That's actually Evan Helical, isn't it?
Yep, that's Evan Helical.
All right, we're going to say Evan Helical. All right, Stashbot through on the initial pass. Like I said, Stashbot 5000 has a plan.
Cam Wheezy, last line of defense with a shoulder check to Evan Helical, sending her to the outside. That's why she put her hands on her hips. We're going to get an official review.
I can honestly say I have no idea what this official review is about. So I'm not even going to pretend to make stuff up, even though I like to make stuff up. But we will let you know, for real, what it is they're talking about. For reals, we'll let you know. All right, it looks like Arizona was hoping for a forearm call on the Rose City Jammer against the Arizona Jammer. As it turns out, forearm contact was there, but it was incidental. It was the hips that did the damage, and hips are legal.
Hey, we got number 618 in white, Westward Ho out there facing off against Ovarian Barbarian. Ovarian Barbarian making short change out of that defense this go round, picking up that lead jammer status for Rose City.
Nice wide open outside corner makes easy work of that first scoring pass. Rose City 5 points on the board. We've got a new jammer of record for Arizona. We've got RC Autobot. Oh, unable to pass the hips in time. Arizona was 0, but holding Rose to 2. That's a 7-point jam for Rose City, bringing them up to 183. Arizona sitting at 84. We've got 5.5 minutes left in this game. Wilhelm wearing the star for Arizona, taking that inside line for a minute, then choosing that middle ground.
Beyond Thunderdome coming out. Thunder Dame picking up that lead jammer nod.
We have got a back block call on Rose City. Beyond Thunderdame sent to the box, giving Wilhelm a chance to get a power jam situation once the initial pass is done. Looks like we've got a blocker from Rose City, a drone sent to the box for a direction of gameplay call. D's Nuts, now your jammer of record, taking advantage of this power jam for Arizona.
Star pass. Let's see what happens here. 3 blockers left on the track. Arizona moving to the offense position, trying to make a window of opportunity for D's Nuts to get through. D's Nuts looking to the outside, but Rose City locking up each crack in that armor that they find. Coming out of the box, Beyond Thunder Dame, making her way through, putting 4 points on the board for Rose City.
Arizona, though, putting 5 points on the board with that penalty box point that was earned after passing that first set of hips. D's Nuts, 5 points on the board for Arizona. Thunder Dame 4 points so far, but it looks like another 4-point pass for Beyond Thunder Dame and Rose City. 8-point pass so far this jam. We've got no lead jammer status, so this one's going for the full 2 minutes. 5 more points on the board for Rose City.
D's Nuts looking for that window on the inside. Locked up tight. 1, 2, 3 blockers coming to the rescue, holding back that Arizona offense. In the meantime, Beyond Thunder Dame making another 5-point pass down here for Rose, breaking that double century mark.
Kalaka not wanting to let Beyond Thunder Dame go for that 5-point pass, but the rules finally had to let the jammer by. The rules state, I mean. Hufflepunk up against Tegan and Scaria. Empty penalty box means we have got a crowd of folks on that track.
All the defense, all the offense. Tegan and Scaria coming out on the inside, picking up that lead jammer status. Rose City.
That inside line was friendly to both of those jammers. Hufflepunk also finding a little bit of an opening on that inside line at the apex between corners 1 and 2. Getting through for a scoring pass, but Rose City calls it off first after putting 3 points on the board.
Shenanigans once again donning the star for Rose City. That's Dashbot 5000 on the line for Arizona again. All skaters are in play at the start of this next jam with just under 2 minutes left in the game.
Oh, Stashbot riding that inside line so wonderfully until that last little shoulder check by, oh, let's see, our Colts, I think it was.
Arizona defense trying to hold Shenanigans back. Shenanigans going to that outside edge, toe stomp in, still makes it through to pick up that lead. Jammer status for Rose City.
Trying not to hit the pack too hard. Stash Pop 5000 goes into a skid at the apex between corners 3 and 4. Forced to the outside and recycling all the way back.
Kapulani, it needs to be said, Kapulani Kapuiki did an amazing job holding back number 12 all the way through turn 3 and 4 on this jam, almost solo. But Shenanigans breaking through. This time she's going to get a high block.
This means Stash Pop 5000 is on a power jam. She has been programmed to know what to do. What is it to do? Why, we are passing it off to D's Nuts. 5 points on the board for Arizona, and we're looking at another set of points being able to be scored by D's Nuts. We've got about 38 seconds left in this half, or in this game.
In this game, this will be the last jam of the game. D's Nuts getting knocked to the infield. Recycling back behind that pack, looking for the window of opportunity to get a few more points in before the end of this jam.
2 more points, and Arizona will be hitting that century mark. Let's see if D's Nuts can bring them to that wonderful 100 selection. Shenanigans exiting the penalty box and through. Easy breezy cover girl. 5 points on the board for Rose City.
Cover girl. All right, Rose City through for 5 once again. Did they do it? 4 more on the board for Arizona. 5 more up for Rose City. That means Arizona did break that century mark. Rose City sitting at 218. Arizona sitting at 102. Unofficial final score. We're going to dot our T's and cross our I's here, ladies and gentlemen, before we come out with the official winner of this game.
talking about Rat City Roller Derby Reign of Terror. We are looking at 06 Lee Featherstone, 070 Cinnamon Slam, 10 Carolina, 192 Strange Her, 253 and Smash Away, 31 Chantilly Cream, 33 Renegade Ruthie, number 38 Kendra Hertz, 44 Evergreen Jean, 50 Brute Champagne, number 513 Morgan Slay, 574 Wyote, number 6 Lily Lightning, 81 Pagnones, and 85 Duncan. This is your Rat City Roller Derby Reign of Terror.
We've had a great day of roller derby so far. Both these teams looking for their first win in the Rust Riot 2018. And it's an honor to be calling the action here. I'm Murray Grande.
I am Mad Statter.
And thank you for everyone here at the Rat's Nest and watching us on the live YouTube stream.
Oh, we're making a great team today, aren't we, Murray? Words are hard.
We always do. We're a dynamic dewsome. Hey, there is 513 Morgan McSlay getting out lead jammer for the Reign of Terror.
All right, Homo Erratic was wearing the star and then removed the star, but boom, back on the head. Morgan McSlay, Homo Erratic threw on the initial pass for Minnesota Nice.
McSlay hits that pack, busts through, gets 4 points, calls it off. Rat City drawing first blood. Remember to come to our after party. It's going to be in the alley behind the Rat's Nest. You bring the paper bags, we'll bring the flat Pabst.
That's my favorite kind of after party.
Line up for the second jam is going to be Lily Lightning, number 6 for the Reign of Terror, and 35 Moose definitely for the Nice.
Perfectly legal and clean team so far. That penalty box empty. Nobody has a penalty. Now that I've said that, I'm sure I'm going to jinx it. But until that happens, let's see what's going on. Lead jammer Lily Lightning for Rat City.
Moose definitely saw some yelling near the front of the pack by taking the inside. Recycle back around now. Here comes Lily Lightning careening into the back.
I'm guessing that was a back block call by that OPR, sending Lily to the penalty box, meaning Moose definitely is on a power jam. Done with that initial pass, thinking about putting points on the board.
So because the lead jammer went to the penalty box, we're going to have the full 2-minute shootout. Moose definitely now is scoring contention, hops around that outside line, gets knocked out though by
Carolina,
574 Wyoming and Carolina.
I love a good hip check that sends a jammer flying.
Power jam is over. Lily Lightning back on the track, resuming the first scoring pass for the Reign of Terror.
Both jammers thinking about putting points on the board. Both sets of blockers trying to change their minds.
Multiplayer block called on that Minnesota wall. Lily Lightning gets through 4 points for the Reign of Terror.
Moose thought that inside line was wide open. Carolina said, nope, closing that window, bopping her to the inside.
Lily coming around untouched for a second scoring pass, and now doing the same thing again. 5 points before, 5 points this time, 13, 14 altogether on the jam.
Moose stuck behind that wall of white at the back of the pack. Lily Lightning forced to recycle even further back.
Lily getting a good screen there from Chantilly Cream for another scoring pass. That's 2 minutes. That's the jam. 5 points for the Minnesota Nice, putting them on the board. Rat City with 19 brings them up to 23. Jamming for Rat City now is number 44, Evergreen Jean.
Number 65, T-Rex for Minnesota Nice. Let's see if T-Rex can be nice, or if they can be a dinosaur and chomp their way through that pack.
Evergreen Jean going against that 2-wall at the top apex. Stretching them out to the very end of the engagement zone. Hops around, gets through lead jammer Rat City.
About a half a track back. T-Rex busts through that pack for the initial pass. Evergreen Jean bopped to the outside by Sheen. decides it is time to call it off.
Minnesota only allowing Rat City to pick up 3 points there. Great defense by the Nice. We got just under 26 minutes remaining in the first half.
Wheelie Nelson wearing the star for Minnesota Nice.
Against Renegade Ruthie, number 33 for Rat City.
Looks like Rat City does have a blocker in the box, giving a 3-4 pack advantage to Minnesota Nice.
In that scrum start on the jam line, Renegade Ruthie trying to tiptoe along the inside, dodges in, gets through, lead jammer, but right behind her, Wheelie Nelson also making the initial pass.
I am so glad they've got a set of eyeballs deciding who gets to be lead, because that one almost seemed too close to call, but it looks like Rat did get that lucky lead jam status. Lucky being defined as, you know, skill and stuff.
2 points for Rat City, brings them up to 28. Minnesota's still sitting at 5.
It just be trippin' wearing the star from Minnesota. I love saying that name.
Against 5-13, Morgan McSlay for the Reign of Terror. Like Minnesota does have the 4-3 blocker advantage for a hot moment.
Morgan McSlay trying to take that inside and then bust into the middle. One last line of defense passed, and once you get past Sheen, lead jammer status was declared for Rat City.
HSB driven, trying to get past that 1-2 punch. Sees an opening, makes the initial pass, and McSlay hits it, splits it, quits it. 4 points for the Reign of Terror.
Wax Poetic was not willing to give up that last line of defense very easily, but Wax Poetic knows the rules. 4 points on the board for Rat City.
At least someone does.
I'm glad someone does. I just pretend. I know the rule set from like 8 years ago.
So we just keep skating left until someone dies?
Sit in the box for a minute.
Hey, there's number 31, Homo Erratic, jamming against Lily Lightning. The latter of whom spins around, gets lead jammer whilst in the air.
Oh, whoopsie daisy, chasing Lily Lightning down. Ends up with a penalty for such shenanigans. Looks like we've got 2 penalties for whoopsie daisy, so they'll be sitting in the penalty box for a whole minute while Lily Lightning goes round and round for 5 points. No, just one time round for 5 points.
Rat City losing a blocker to a forearm penalty. Here comes Lily Lightning on scoring pass. Number 2 knocked to the outside, recycle back around. And a star pass. Killer Bee now the jammer of record for Minnesota. But Lily's going to call it off, scoring 5 points. And altogether, Rat City blowing up the scoreboard 42. Minnesota Nice with 5.
Evergreen Jean wearing the star for Rat City. And it looks like Moose definitely wearing the star for Minnesota Nice. Each team has a blocker in the box. I guess each jammer has a blocker in the box.
We all have a blocker in the box one way or another.
Oh, Evergreen Jean finding a wide open window on that inside. Lead jammer status for Rat City.
Star pass on Minnesota. Sheen has the jammer cover now. Evergreen Jean in scoring contention. Ricochets right off that back wall. Great defense by Lola Frequency, only allowing 1 single solitary point from Rat City before the call off. Oh, make that 2 points. Hey, it's time to line up and do it again. Number 33, that is Renegade Ruthie jamming for Rat City.
T-Rex for Minnesota Nice. T-Rex dancing around that that back of the pack, that white wall in the back of the pack.
Same thing could be said for Renegade Ruthie. Just careening port to starboard. Nowhere to go. Defense, defense, defense by both these teams. Oh, but there is Stranger opening up a lane. Renegade Ruthie gets through, lead jammer Rat City.
Yeah, that was a case of the penalty box emptying out and those blockers coming in for offense. Looks like we have a star pass for Minnesota Nice. Killer Bee was the jammer of record, but it was called off by Rat City 4 points on the board for the team in white. Minnesota held them to only 4 points, though.
We have 2 more games at the Rust Riot 2018 happening tomorrow. We have no programs, so check on the Facebook group to see what time those are going to be happening. I believe it's going to be Minnesota versus Arizona and Rat City versus Rose City.
I'm going to say the action starts at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Rat and
look at
Rose
you.
at 4 p.m. But for sure, check the Facebook page, because sometimes I make things up. Like right now, I'm making up that Rat City has lead because they don't. They don't have lead, but they did get through. See, I just made stuff up. 0 points all around, though. Not making that up. It just be trippin'. We're the star for Minnesota.
Next to Lily Lightning, whom I do not have a song about, but I'll work on that.
I am channeling Linda Belcher right now, and today I will be breaking into song for no reason.
Lily Lightning getting through lickety-split lead jammer Rat City.
It just be trippin', stuck behind a wall of white at the back of the pack. First trying to take the inside line, and then thinking about the outside line, and now it's looking like just going up the middle might be the game plan of the day. Minnesota Nice losing a blocker to the penalty box, but Lily Lightning doesn't care. She's putting 5 points on the board for Red City. Oh my, inside lane wide open, making life easy for Lily Lightning. We have got Minnesota in the penalty box, like all of them.
It just be tripping, cutting tracks. Now only 2 blockers in for Lily Lightning, who just jukes around and keeps doing her little speed skate.
Killer B doing best as she can to slow Lily Lightning down, but it's next to impossible when you're fighting against Brute Champagne, who's keeping you from that defense.
Penalty box starting to empty out. Lily Lightning coming around, zigging, zagging, getting knocked out of bounds.
Annabelle Lecter and Killer B, great last line of defense, keeping.
Barbell Fett just put a backward 69 on Lily Lightning that's not going to wash off for a week. Great hit there. But the Rat City Jammer bounces right back up. Still working on another scoring pass. 25 so far.
Oh man, Bully Jean living up to her name. Shoulder check sends Lily to the ground.
The action will be resuming shortly. Rat City with a 30-point jam on that last one. Bring him up to 79 points. Got 18 minutes and change remaining in the first period.
Like we are getting back into the game. Evergreen Jean wearing the star for Rat City.
Next to Homo Erratic of Minnesota, who trying for a jammer run back.
We know how to play this game, and this is the intricacy of the rules. And guess what? When you've got a penalty to kill, Minnesota Nice is actually being really smart on this whole thing. Normally, I don't like this play, but there is a method to the madness here, and they are working it.
Yeah, Minnesota has a bevy of penalties to serve, and that took a lot of time off people who were sitting on the bench there.
Yeah, I think this is literally the first and only time I've ever seen this maneuver. Like, wow, I see why you're doing this. Keep doing this. This was a good idea. So awesome, Minnesota, for taking advantage of that. Looks like, though, we do have lead jammer finally a minute into this jam. Evergreen Jean for Rat City.
Because who doesn't love 2011 Derby? Anyway, enough editorializing.
Exactly.
Star pass to Killer Bee.
Because she's killer.
The jammer record now for Minnesota. Evergreen Jean working on a scoring pass. Going through backward. Calls it off.
Oh, man, if the rules only didn't say after the first set of 4 whistles, the scoring stopped, because if it was the second set of 4 whistles, we've gotten some points on the board for Minnesota. Killer Bee was so close, yet so far away.
Can we have just like one 30-minute jam? You could score so many points.
You want someone to die, don't you?
I do not. Do not.
Okay.
Do not say that while we're on record on YouTube.
All right, you bring up good
Murray
points.
Grande does not want anyone to die on the track. But I do want to see Wheelie Nelson get through, get lead jammer, which she did.
I want to see Wheelie Nelson more often just because I like saying that name.
Wheelie Nelson going high, sticks the landing, 5 points.
Doesn't Wheelie Nelson always go high? See what I did there?
I did. Renegade Ruthie coming out. That is the initial pass made for Rat City. Wheelie Nelson with another 4-point pass, 9 altogether. Minnesota now has 14 points against Rat City's 83.
9 points to 0, though. You know what that means? That means Minnesota won that jam. Morgan McSlay wearing the star for Rat City up against Moose, definitely. Nobody's in trouble. That means everybody's on the track.
Oh, nobody's in the penalty box at the moment. Morgan McSlay gets thrown for a loop.
Wow, yeah, Whoopsie
back.
Daisy was throwing those shoulders.
Moose definitely was assessed lead jammer. The baby done Ben Eden called it off. 0-0 jam.
Wait, why did she call it off?
Because she was McSlay was not assessed lead jammer. And then,
Well, okay, yeah, we'll have this discussion later. I mean, I understand that. Never mind.
I'm sorry.
I think I missed something very important.
Okay. We'll drink about it later.
Yeah, I think I'm the one at fault here. Either way, Evergreen Jean, lead jammer status for Rat City.
Homo Erratic wearing the star for Minnesota. Getting around at turn 2, making the initial pass. There's Evergreen Jean tiptoeing around the backstretch, putting 4 points on the board for Rat City. Homo Erratic has 2 to beat, splits right in the middle of Ponyo Knees and Stranger for a Minnesota scoring pass.
Phenomenal work by Stranger, busting up that black wall to help their jammer get through.
The great block there at the tail end of that jam by Lola Frequency, forcing the call off. Rat City with 3 on the pass, 7 on the jam. Minnesota also picking up 4 points. It is 90-18 in favor of the Reign of Terror, and 13 and a half minutes remain before halftime.
2 of my favorite jammers on the line, Renegade Ruthie and Wheelie Nelson. 3-4 pack advantage in favor of the Minnesota Nice.
Both jammers getting knocked down near the inside. Wheelie Nelson still got knocked out of bounds. Doesn't have to recycle.
Yeah, Wheelie very, very aware of position there, knowing just how far back she had to go. Lead jammer status for Minnesota means Wheelie Nelson's thinking about putting points on the board.
Renegade Ruthie being knocked in by 112. Whoopsie daisy. Still working on the initial pass for Rat City.
Beautiful hip check by Chantilly Cream, sending Wheelie Nelson to that outside, forcing her to recycle back. Not far back, but still.
Ruthie has one to beat on the backstretch. That is the Rat City initial pass. Wheelie Nelson of Minnesota calls it off.
Wisely so. Let's see how many points Minnesota got this time. 3 points on the board, bringing them up to 21, holding Rat City to 0.
Who's definitely jamming for Minnesota up against 5-13. Morgan McSlay of Rat City.
I think Moose definitely wearing the star for Minnesota, and Moose definitely is trying to take that outside line to find her way through. Boom. Moose definitely out on the initial.
Morgan McSlay sprints right around. Everyone gets 4 points. And Moose definitely now in scoring contention as well. Knocked to the inside. That's a crawl around to get in legal skating position around Duncan and Stranger.
Excellent work by Sheen trying to help her jammer out.
Wax Poetic with the long run back on McSlay.
Wax Poetic knows how to play this game. Excellent defense. Triforce of Black at the back of the pack, slowing McSlay down. McSlay finds an open window on the inside to move her way forward. Looks like Minnesota unable to score any points that pass.
They got 1 single solitary point.
Oh, pardon me. I did not see that thrown.
Once again, this is a hardcore, high-impact athletic competition. We appreciate your patience while we deal with skater safety.
I'd like to. Out the did not.
Jam 16 about to start. Rat City, Reign of Terror 98, Minnesota Nice 22. And we have Homo Erratic jamming against Evergreen Gene.
Still empty penalty box, meaning all those skaters are good skaters who know the rules, or at least pretend really well.
Good skater. Who's a good skater? You all are.
You're all good skaters.
Hey, and especially Evergreen Gene, who gets out at turn 2, lead jammer Rat City. Right behind her, Homo Erratic coming out, making the initial pass for Minnesota.
Oh, both jammers are trying to leave wide open windows, and that outside was wide open.
Amazing footwork there by Evergreen Gene, just getting a hair's breadth away from the outside line, bouncing in, getting through all 4 points for Rat City.
That's not just lucky, that's talented.
Finely honed skill.
Exactly. It just be trippin' wearing the star for Minnesota. Renegade Ruthie being the star for Rat City. No, you know what? It just be trippin's being the star for Minnesota as well. What am I saying?
I hear a whole lot of whistling, a whole lot of number yelling. Looks like just one blocker from Rat City is going to be going to the penalty box, giving Minnesota a blocker advantage.
Final wall of white in the front of the pack. Ponyo knees with Stranger holding. It just be trippin'. Finally, lead jammer status and out of play penalty called. It just be trippin' with lead jammer for Minnesota. 2 Rat City blockers in the back. Or not in the back, in the box.
It should be tripping now, going left, going right. Sees a whole lot of Stranger and Cinnamon Slam. Gets a screen there from 211 Sheen, and a scoring pass made. 5-point grand slam to be exact for the Minnesota Nice. Renegade Ruthie stashing the star, going one-on-one in the front of the pack with Sheen. That's an initial trip for Rat City.
Penalty box has emptied out. Everyone is on the track. It just be trippin'. Implored to call that off. Finally does. Let's see. 2 points on the board for each of those teams. 7 points for this jam for Minnesota thanks to Itches Be Trippin'.
Remember, the only important derby happening this weekend is in Seattle because nobody cares about Omaha.
I could not agree with you more. Wheelie Nelson smoking her way through that pack, trying to take the outside line, but things happened.
This
Oh, no. Jam is still in. No, I don't. What is going on?
So that happened. So we don't know what happened, but the referees are going to take an official timeout to figure out.
Until further notice, we're going to consider this a mulligan. But since that doesn't really exist,
Well, this is just a good excuse, once again, to look at the finely tuned biceps of Wizard of Laws.
There we go.
Because, you know, is there a veterinarian nearby? Because those pythons are sick. So, to summarize what the referees told the NSO table here, oops. It's a B team tournament, doesn't matter.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I mean, it
we're going to call it a mulligan.
But I do know that Morgan McSlay is out getting lead jammer for the Reign of Terror. Wheelie Nelson Getting caught behind that Rat City 4, tiptoes around the inside, escapes, gets the initial pass made.
McSlay, fully aware of Wheelie Nelson's track position, decides it is time to call it off.
So to clarify, what I meant was the only thing that matters is that everyone has fun. And so far, mission accomplished.
I'm having a great time. I can't speak for anybody else, but
Who else is having a great time this weekend?
woo woo!
Crowd pander, crowd pander, crowd pander. Thank you. Number 65, T-Rex wearing the star for Minnesota, and Evergreen Jean, lead jammer, wearing the cover for Rat City Reign of Terror.
T-Rex struggling against that wall of white at the front of the pack. Thinking about passing the star, absolutely deciding to pass the star. We are looking at Sheen as your new jammer of record for Minnesota.
4 points for Rat City, 0 points Minnesota. Reign of Terror has 112 now. Minnesota with 29. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Brute Champagne, I think it's the first time I've seen them jam this weekend so far.
Yeah,
Maybe the second time, maybe the third time. I don't know. I'm kind of off my game right now. But lead jammer for Brute Champagne and the Rat City Reign of Terror.
Homoerotic struggling against a white wall at the front of the pack. It's a wall of 3 holding Homoerotic absolutely still. Beautiful work by Bully Jean trying to bust up that line to get Homoerotic through for that initial pass.
Whoopsie daisy all over Brute Champagne like stink on a wrist guard. Rat City Jammer has to recycle back around there, still working on scoring pass number 1.
And Smash Away and Chantilly Cream acting in unison to slow down Homoerotic. Looks like Rat City able to score 4 points this last jam, bringing them up to 116. Itches be trippin', wearing the star for Minnesota.
Morgan McSlay for the Reign of Terror. McSlay straight through the back. Gets lead jammer outside of turn 1.
Itches be trippin' with star in hand, fights her way through on that initial pass. 2-1-1 Sheen slowing down Morgan McSlay along with Thimbleberry Slam.
But the pack gets extended out. McSlay gets through 4 points for the Reign of Terror.
Cinnamon Slam shutting that inside window that was open for a second. Itches be trippin' tried to make their way through, but nope. Still stuck behind that wall of white.
McSlay now coming in for another scoring pass. Breezes on by. 5 points right there. That was scoring pass number 3, and we got a star pass on. No, we don't.
Yeah, it looked like Sheen was attempting that star pass with their jammer, but didn't quite make contact.
Well, Minnesota has had several successful fake outs, and now Itches be tripping, get out of the pack. That was a scoring pass for Minnesota.
Looks like 3 points scored, what with the cap being off for that 4th point, I bet.
McSlay gets through again for 5 more points. 24 altogether. Rat City has 140. Minnesota Nice with 32. Under 2 minutes remain before halftime. We can squeeze in at least one more jam.
Shoot, if we try hard enough, we could have 3 more jams, I bet. Not really. Well, maybe, actually.
Free 3-pack, Wheelie Nelson, Evergreen Gene wearing the stars. The latter of whom gets out first, lead jammer, Rat City.
Killer B, your jammer of record 4, Minnesota Nice. That was a beautiful star pass by Minnesota's jammer.
Air Evergreen goes high, sticks the landing, calls it off. 5 points for the Reign of Terror. 1 minute remaining on the game clock in the first period.
T-Rex wearing the star for Minnesota, skating up against Brute Champagne. Brute Champagne, second time jamming this evening. Three, 4-pack advantage in favor of Rat City.
Both jammers scrambling left and right. Defense, 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 holding them back. T-Rex flattened there by the Rat City blocker. And finally, Brute Champagne sees an opening, gets through, lead jammer for the Reign of Terror.
All right, it looks like we had a star pass for Minnesota Nice. Sheen, now your jammer of record. No points on the board for the team in black. Looks like 4 points on the board for Rat City.
Few seconds remain before halftime. And no seconds remain before halftime. So we're going to take a brief intermission. Rat City has 148. Minnesota. Announcers ready.
Am I ready?
More as ready as we ever are, which is a pretty low bar. Hey, there's Morgan McSlade. She's definitely ready, getting around. Lead jammer for the Reign of Terror. Homo Erratic at one point was in possession of a star for Minnesota.
And it looks like the wall of defense still thinks that Homo Erratic might still have that star, because boy, oh boy, is that wall of white just on her, like, as you say, stink on a wrist guard.
And they do have a much better advantage point than we do. Let's face it. McSlade, dumped to the outside by 211 Sheen.
Coyote, last line of defense to finally let Homo Erratic through. Homo Erratic thinking about scoring points, but not quite passing the hips yet. 5 points on the board for Rat City. We've got ourselves Itches B tripping, wearing the star from Minnesota, and Evergreen Jean wearing the star for Rat City.
Oh, yeah.
3-4 pack advantage in favor of Rat City, meaning Evergreen Jean's got an easy peasy time to get through, right? No. Killer B says no.
Got a little boop to the inside. And now Evergreen Jean sprinting right through the center, gets the lead jammer for Rat City.
It just be tripping stuck behind a wall of white at the back of the pack. Star has been removed from head. What does that mean? It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could mean she's just thinking about skating on through secret-like.
Maybe her hands were cold, and that's the only thing she could do to warm it up. We're now going one-on-one in the bottom apex with Cinnamon Slam. Extends the back out, gets through, makes the initial pass. Evergreen Jean tiptoeing on the inside line. Calls it off from a power slide. No point success on that pass. Already had a 5-point trip, though. So Rat City 158, Minnesota 32.
All right, so you can't really tell by the uniforms, but I'm going to tell you, Minnesota and their aqua and army choice of colors always makes me smile. It is my favorite color combination of all of the Wiftida teams ever.
They keep it teal, yo. Wheelie Nelson and Brute Champagne are the jammers, the former of whom gets through lead status for the Minnesota Nice.
Like smoke sneaking out through the pursed lips and the coughing lungs, Wheelie Nelson gets through for lead jammer status.
The Rat City with 2 points there, 160, Minnesota with 32. We got 26 and change remaining in regulation. 5-on-5 jam for T-Rex and Morgan McSlay.
All right, T-Rex fighting behind a wall of white. Barbell Fett doing their best to bash that white wall open.
The referee's backs look really good right now. Hey, there is Morgan McSlay getting through, getting lead jammer at turn 2 for Rat City.
Yeah, even though there was a lead jammer declared, she had to fight her way, re-fight her way out of that initial pass.
Scoring pass was a lot easier, though.
Way easier. 4 points.
Scoring 4 points.
Oh, and I am seeing T-Rex passing some hips in white, meaning Minnesota's putting some points on the board as well. T-Rex gets bopped to the outside, forced to recycle all the way back by Anyo.
Morgan McSlay is on scoring pass number 3. Does the spin-a-rooney round turn 4. That's a 5-point pass, 13 so far this jam.
Cinnamon Slam, Stranger, and Ponyo holding T-Rex at the back of that pack. 5-point pass for Rat City. I'm going to say this is what, their 4th scoring pass? 3rd, 4th?
McSlay cascaded to the outside. once and twice. Minnesota now with that wrecking crew defense.
Killer B out from the box and providing some much needed offense for T-Rex. Bop to the inside, forced to recycle back. T-Rex remains in control of that star. Killer B trying to slow down Morgan McSlay, but Morgan was able to evade that sting.
That's 2 minutes. That's the jam. 4 points picked up by Minnesota. Rat City with 26. Bring them up to 186. Minnesota 36. Evergreen Gene jamming up against number 31, Homo Erratic.
Both teams with a full contingent of blockers on the track, giving each jammer a big ol' heartache and headache.
The jammer Evergreen Gene. Homo Erratic passes that star off to number 86, Wax Poetic.
Looks like Wax Poetic has been able.
It was a fake out.
That was a great fake out. Beautiful action by Homo Erratic. Totally threw everyone off. Rat City held to simply 2 points for that jam. Itches be trippin', wearing the star for Minnesota, skating up against Brute Champagne. Looks like Hannibal Lecter is there, ready to provide some blockage for her jammer.
Solid scrum of humanity there at the top apex. It looks like a multiplayer block being assessed to someone from Minnesota.
Oh, pivot going to the box for Minnesota, leaving one less option for Minnesota's jammer. But that's all right, because Minnesota's blockers have got Brute Champagne locked down in a no movement zone.
But that was another multiplayer block called on their wall. Brute Champagne digs down low, muscles through that pack, gets the lead jammer designation.
That took 40 seconds off the clock, though. Oh, wonderful booty check by number 6'9", Barbell Fett.
Then whoopsie daisy with the Gandalf none shall pass, absolutely stymieing Brute Champagne scoring trip. HSB trip and got out, made the initial pass for Minnesota, and jam is called off. 5 more for Rat City.
Okay, I've got Chantilly Cream wearing the star for Rat City, and my memory is that of a Nat, but I think that might be the first time we've seen her wearing the star today. Or, I mean, this jam. I mean, this game. I don't know what I mean.
Wheelie Nelson also jamming.
That I knew, and I recognize Wheelie because, well, I love Wheelie Nelson and all that Wheelie Nelson makes me think of.
And she got lead jammer there.
Yeah, she's a leader.
And Chili Cream still caught behind that Triforce of Power from Minnesota. And Wheelie Nelson blowing right through the pack.
Blowing right through the pack. Absolutely. 5 points. Wonderful.
Red Rover sent Wheelie Nelson right over. Bust up through that back wall. It looks like being sent to the penalty box for a high block.
Oh, it was a good run while it lasted. Now it's a power jam for Chantilly Cream. Chantilly Cream, has she made it through on her initial pass? I don't think so.
That is correct. Chantilly Cream still working the initial pass, sent to the inside there by 211. Sheen has a long way to go back to recycle.
Yeah, Animal Post pulled that back as far as possible.
Forum called on Stranger. Power Jam is over, and Minnesota with a pack advantage. Wheelie Nelson working on scoring pass number 2 at the moment.
I am guessing from the action on the track, what with Animal paying so much attention to Carolina, that there has been a star pass.
Star pass and Power Jam as Carolina going to the penalty box.
Absolutely. So it's a 10-point pass so far for Minnesota and Wheelie Nelson. Power Jam situation with 6 more seconds left in the jam. Let's see how many points Minnesota can put on the board. Looks like another 5-point pass to me. 15-point jam for Minnesota, holding Rat City to 0.
Great, great, great effort there by the Nice. Never giving up the fight. At the tail end of that, Rat City lost another blocker. So we're going to start with a 3-on-3 power advantage for Homo Erratic.
All right, both teams do have 3 blockers on the track. Kendra Hertz bopping Homo Erratic to the outside, but that does not slow Homo Erratic down. Busting through lead jammer status Minnesota and getting ready to put points on the board.
Homo Erratic now goes against that Rat City 3 wall. Power Jam has come to an end. Carolina back on the track wearing the star. Homo Erratic putting a 5-point grand slam in the record books for the Nice. Right behind her, Carolina escapes on an initial trip.
Carolina weaving her way through for that first scoring pass for Rat City. Held back by a Triforce of Black at the front, now the back of the pack, letting Homo Erratic through for a 4-point pass.
Homo Erratic is racking them and stacking those points.
A Triforce of White trying to slow Homo Erratic down. Ponyo, last line of defense for Rat City, has to let go for out of play. No, for a forearm call. Homo Erratic gets through for 5 points. Rat City loses a blocker to the box.
Star pass made. Cinnamon Slam. Jammer of record now for Rat City as Homo Erratic gets through again.
Looks like Rat City was able to eke out 3 points on that pass, but it was a 4-point pass for Minnesota, bringing Minnesota to 13 points this jam. 64 Minnesota, 196 Rat City. This jam was a 13-3 jam in favor of Minnesota. That's right, the Aqua and Army won that jam.
And team timeout called by the Reign of Terror. Four-3 pack advantage. Minnesota T-Rex is wearing their star up against Morgan McSlay from the Reign of Terror.
Morgan McSlay fighting behind a wall of black at the back of the pack, getting bopped to the outside and forced to recycle, even though it looked like she was going to get some forward motion there. Looks like T-Rex struggling at the front of the pack behind a wall of white. Inside the window opens, lead jammer status for Minnesota.
McSlay knocked to the outside there by 52. Lola Frequency still working on the initial pass. T-Rex already in scoring position and completing that pass. Nope. That's McSlay there.
All right, excellent work by the Minnesota blockers to help bust up that wall, but it wasn't quick enough because McSlay was thinking about scoring points T-Rex knew what was up, called it off.
All right. Try this again. I swear I've announced Derby before. Number 511, Wheelie Nelson wearing the star for Minnesota, and Evergreen Gene, lead jammer, blink and you missed it, getting through the pack that pass for Rat City.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Evergreen Gene actually started on the other side of the pack, because that's really what it seemed like.
Wheelie Nelson hugging that outside line, barely staying in bounds. Great pass there.
Both pivots being sent to the penalty box. Neither jammer has an opportunity to pass that star. Oh my gosh, riding that outside line like a pro. 44 has 4 points on the board.
Ooh. Evergreen Gene stomping around that inside line on the backstretch. Just giving a middle finger to the laws of physics.
Exactly.
Well,
you can only give the middle finger to the laws of physics once. Had to call it off. Pretty impressive twirl, though, as she hit the ground.
13 points, Rat City, 4 points, Minnesota. And about halfway through the second period.
Itches be tripping, wearing the star up against Brute Champagne. 3-4 pack advantage in favor of that Minnesota Nice.
Nice. Brute Champagne gets lead jammer for Rat City.
About a half a track behind, though, Itches be tripping has some plans of her own. Kendra Hertz getting sent to the penalty box when the other Rat City jammer, Cinnamon Slam, gets released. So still 3-4 pack advantage in favor of Minnesota, but we've got a power jam in favor of Rat City now.
Yeah, low block called on Itches be tripping.
Huh. Seems appropriate, oddly enough.
Uh-huh.
See what I did there?
The only thing better, I don't know, well, I'm not going to say better, but clever wordplay than Itches be tripping getting a low block would be if T-Rex got a forearm.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm kind of hoping it happens just because. Not because I want to see the penalty, but because it needs to happen.
I like to see footage of that happening in a scrimmage.
There we go. Let's do that. There we go.
Yeah. Hey, Morgan McSlay wearing the star again on the power start. Getting through, going to the penalty box on a track cut.
All right, we're going to have a do-si-do here in just 1 second, and it looks like here we are. Itches be trippin' is itching to get back on the track.
Itches be tripping absolutely swarmed by the Rat City defense. Get some great help there from the Minnesota blockers.
Yeah, the Minnesota blockers are definitely doing their best to try to bust up that wall and prepare for the Rat City jammer, who exited the box and then promptly forearmed her competition. Back to the box for Morgan McSlay. Power jam continues for Minnesota.
Now, Itches be tripping has taken off the jammer cover, so we're going to have a 2-minute shootout. Big pile there at the pivot line. Finally, Itches be tripping gets out. That's the initial pass made for Minnesota.
We've got about 39 seconds left in this jam. Whoa, beautiful shoulder check by Chantilly Cream, sending Itches be tripping flying into the inside of the pack, inside of the track.
Kendra Hurt now joining the fracas in the back of the pack. Itches be tripping, working on a first scoring pass. Here comes Morgan McSlay out of the penalty box and through the pack for a Rat City initial pass.
Well, you know, spending a minute in the box has a tendency to make the blockers forget about you, I guess, because they seem to forget about her. My, oh my, 4 in the sky for Rat City and Morgan McSlay.
A lot of physicality in the back as the 2-minute jam clock expires. 3 on that pass for Minnesota. And Rat City getting that bonus thumb for a 5-point scoring pass. 220 Reign of Terror, 79 nice.
Homoerotic busting through and almost getting lead jammer until Evergreen Jean decided against it. Oh my goodness.
Evergreen Jean just like apparated in the front of that pack. I didn't even see her go through anywhere.
If it were up to me, I would have called Homoerotic the lead, but I'm glad I'm not a ref because that is not quite how that happened. Wow. 1 point on the board for Rat City.
$65 T-Rex jamming for Minnesota and 50 Brute Champagne for Rat City.
Empty penalty box means we've got some clean skaters that last jam, and it's a full 5-on-5 on the track. Wall of 3 in black, slowing Brute Champagne down. T-Rex struggling against a wall of white at the front of the pack. Now we have just got one big ol' kerfuffle of folks at the apex between corners 1 and 2. An official derby term, kerfuffle.
Shades of Ozfest 2000, the way bodies are hitting the floor. We have no lead jammer yet. Although T-Rex and Eyelash Away, no, sent to the outside by Chantilly Cream, recycling back around.
Brute Champagne attempting to move the wall of black without much success. Carolina coming in to help bust up that wall of black, but had to go back to bridging and defending against the other jammer.
Blockers have this jam on lock.
Yeah, this is some serious defense action. I have to say both teams are winning at defense this time.
Brute Champagne finally getting through the pack with
like 10 seconds left in the jam. Oh my gosh.
That's 2 minutes. That's the jam. About the hardest hitting, hardest skating jam you'll ever see for 0 points.
That was the toughest
team.
0-point jam I think I've ever seen. Wow. But you know what, man? I'm going to go out on a limb and say both teams won that jam. That's right. Both defensive teams won that jam. We have got a 2-4 pack advantage in favor of Rat City, making Morgan McSlay's job to get lead jammer status a little bit easier. Meanwhile, Wheelie Nelson fighting up against that 4 wall of white to get through on the initial pass.
Morgan McSlay going around the outside, getting through, scoring 5 points for the Reign of Terror. Coming back around, looking to do it again, just about the same spot for a second scoring pass.
Blockers emptying out from that penalty box, giving Wheelie Nelson a bit of help, but not a lot of help. Still struggling behind that wall of white.
Star pass made on the Minnesota side. Number 211, Sheen, has control of the cover. Still working on an initial pass. Makes it there at turn 2, getting past Cinnamon Slam. And Morgan McSlay going left, going right, going through, calling off the jam. Another 4 points there, 14 altogether. Rat City 235, Minnesota 79. 6 minutes remain in the game. Oh, wait, hashtag bonus thumb. 15-point jam for Rat City there.
Evergreen Jean wearing the star for Rat City. Homoerotic wearing the star for Minnesota Nice. Evergreen Jean trying to take that inside line, but gets called on a cutting penalty, which leaves Homoerotic as the lead jammer with a power jam situation at hand.
Here comes Homoerotic on a scoring pass. Great screens there by number 69, Barbell Fett, helping to open up a lane, allowing Homoerotic to get a 5-point grand slam.
That was a tiny lane that Homoerotic had to deal with, riding that inside line or hopping that inside line with skill and grace. 5 points for that one pass, 4 points for this pass, 9-point total this jam, thanks to Homoerotic.
Evergreen Jean came out of the penalty box with the sound and the fury, sprinting straight through that pack, making an initial pass. Homoerotic hits the pack again, calls it off. No points on that pass, but 9 unanswered points goes to Minnesota on the jam. They are chipping away, getting close to that century mark, 88. Rat City still has 236.
Familiar matchup that we're seeing right now. HSB tripping up against Brute Champagne. Empty penalty box, meaning 5-on-5 on the track. All those blockers lining up way far back. HSB tripping, trying to take that middle, but that outside line was wide open for Brute Champagne. Lead jammer status for Rat City.
HSB Trippin almost saw some daylight, but has now been swarmed by Rat City blockers. Here is Brute Champagne on a scoring pass for the Reign of Terror, but equally swarmed by the nice defense.
Wax Poetic with the star in her hand right now for Minnesota Nice. That is your jammer of record. Brute Champagne decides it is time to call it off. 4 points on the board for Rat City, holding Minnesota to 0 this jam.
We got 3.5 minutes remaining in the final game here for Saturday of the Rust Riot 2018. Remember to be right back here at the Rat's Nest for at noon, 12 p.m. to see Minnesota versus Arizona. And then at 2 p.m., Rat City versus Rose City. The I-5 rivalry.
The I-5 rivalry that will never die.
Morgan McSlay jamming against T-Rex, and T-Rex marches right through lead jammer Minnesota.
All right, Morgan McSlay finally threw on that initial pass. A blocker for Minnesota being sent to the box, while another blocker for Minnesota exiting the box. Decided that T-Rex was going to call it off after 3 points, holding Rat City to 0. Got about 2.5 minutes left in this game. Minnesota's on the verge of hitting that century mark. Let's see if Wheelie Nelson can bring him past that point.
So there's nothing official being done after this, but remember, the after party exists in your heart. It's kind of like Neverland. Just take the after party with you. Wheelie Nelson jamming for Minnesota, trying to find an opening on the inside line, and on the outside lane, Evergreen Jean gets through lead jammer Rat City.
About a quarter track behind her, though. Wheelie Nelson hot on her tail. Whoa, inside line wide open. Oh, outside bopped by Sheen. Evergreen Jean decides it is time to call it off after 4 points, but Minnesota did manage to eke out 1 point, bringing them to 92. Homoerotic wearing the star for Minnesota with about 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this game. Up against Brute Champagne. Brute Champagne is the best kind of champagne, just so you know. Brute Champagne, the best kind of jammer, just so you know.
Minute and a half remains on the game clock. And Homo Erratic tiptoeing on the inside lane there at turn 1. Lead jammer Minnesota.
Phenomenal track awareness by Homo Erratic there to get lead jammer status. Absolutely on the verge of getting to the infield, but not quite. Once again, toeing that inside line with a twirly twirl. 4 points on the board for Homo Erratic. No,
And
5 points.
A track cut called on Brewed Champagne. So Minnesota with a very timely power jam in the final moments of this game.
5 points already scored by Homo Erratic. Hips are being passed. My best guess is more points have been accumulated, but that's up to the ref to tell me. Homo Erratic holding that outside line, held to a standstill by that 3-wall of white at the front of the pack.
Oh. Coyote and Bully Jean just collided so hard, I think it formed a pocket universe. And somewhere in that big bang, Homo Erratic got through for another scoring pass. 10 points so far on this jam. Minnesota breaking the century mark.
And we are on another scoring pass for Minnesota, so 10 points is not the only points that they're going to score this jam. Hips have been passed. Brewed Champagne has left that box, though, and is thinking about putting points on the board also.
Homo Erratic knocked to the outside, recycling back around. Knocked to the inside, recycling back around. There is Brewed Champagne. Oh, has stashed the star. They got through. Initial pass made for Rat City. Few seconds remain on the jam clock. And 4 points. 14 altogether for Minnesota. Great effort by the Nice in the closing moments of this game.
Talk about never giving up. Never say die. 14-0. Holding Rat City to 0 points on a 14-point jam.
Nice.
That was nice.
Nice.
That's the Minnesota nice you just got there.
But it's the Rat City Reign of Terror who are the victors this evening. 244 to the Minnesota Nice's 106.